If you were to ask me what my favorite anime is, I would probably say Attack on Titan. And a year ago today, I made my very own Attack on Titan fan game. This is the story of how that game was made.
You're bigger, bigger, why do you hide? Always shiver, shiver, it's suicide, but if the
Now before I go into detail about how I made the game, we have to go back to where it all began. January 2021. I was already a huge fan of Attack on Titan, and I enjoyed the official games quite a lot, but I always wondered what would a first-person Attack on Titan game play like. So after messing around for a bit, and thanks to the lovely free art assets that Gaiden released, I was able to make this. It was pretty jank, but it was playable. I was happy with my little experiment, and I stored it away, never to be seen again. My girlfriend told me I should post a video about it on TikTok. Now, I've never owned a TikTok account, and quite frankly, I didn't plan on making one, and I was pretty hesitant, but after being convinced, I decided to post a video.
That's quite big.
Okay, so at this point, I was like, wait, what? People actually think this is cool.
That's pretty good.
So after reading some of the comments, I decided to continue adjusting the project and adding more things like better graphics and better movement. I noticed a lot of people were basically begging me to release it, so I decided to do just that. The plan was to release it as a fan game on GameJolt, but before I could do that, I had to turn this little experiment into a functioning game. I spent a lot of time mostly fixing bugs and coding a menu system so there was actually a UI for players to interact with. And around a month later, I released the game on GameJolt for anyone to download and play. Thousands of people downloaded the game in the first few hours, and I was blown away by the community reaction. People seemed to be really liking the game, not without its well-deserved criticisms. The game was still buggy, and it lacked any actual titans to go up against. While still feeling really motivated, I decided to go back to working on the game. I started designing titans. I actually hired an artist on Fiverr to create a titan model for me, as I'm not really that good at 3D modeling. I then used a website called Mixamo, which allows you to auto-rig models and also use mocap animation on them. The animation library from Mixamo is quite large, but it wasn't large enough to fit every single animation I needed. So I started hand animating different animations like grabbing the player, and eventually I managed to add titans. I also added another map called Forest and a speedrunning mode. The Titans update was a hit. Some of the update videos I was posting started hitting millions of views, with people requesting more things like multiplayer and more. So just like that, I went back to work. I knew people wanted multiplayer. It was something I'd never done before, and I really had my work cut out for me. When making our game multiplayer, you have to make sure that everything that needs running on the server is replicated. Otherwise, your clients won't see what's happening. This took a lot of work, and I ran into a lot of issues, but thankfully after a month's work, I got it working, and I released it to the public. But that's when disaster struck. I set up multiplayer with no peer-to-peer networking setup. What is peer-to-peer? This is the connection between two players. Now, I was under the impression that to run peer-to-peer networking, I would be paying a lot of money. And as a broke indie developer, I didn't really have that money to throw around, especially for something that was a free fan game. This system made it that players had to have their port open on the network. This meant that unless you knew how to port forward, you were basically screwed, and you wouldn't be able to join any servers that people hosted. People were obviously pretty disappointed, so I had to go straight back to the drawing board. After some digging, I found a plugin called EOS Core. This plugin uses Epic Games, thanks Fortnite, online services. This plugin would handle all the peer-to-peer networking that I would need. Now with this setup, players wouldn't have to port forward at all, as all these peer-to-peer connections would be handled via EOS. So after 5 days of setting this all up, I released another build with the whole reworked multiplayer setup. It was a massive success, and some people say that this was their favorite update. After that, I made more and more updates to the game. I added different things like Titan Transformation, Beyond the Walls, which was an open world map where you could ride horses. I even added more speedrunning maps because the speedrunning community at this point in time was getting quite large. There was even a page on speedrun.com. I also made the graphics a little better. Here's a comparison before and after. I also did my best to try and improve the UI, but I've never been that good with UI, and it's something that I really want to improve on. So where are we at right now? Currently I'm working on a full ODM gear movement update, which actually you can try right now. I've made a little demo that you can download from the link in the description below. I'm also working on new character models and new titans which will come out in the future. I'm also currently working on a new mobile game that will be coming out pretty soon called Mecha Attack. This game's actually inspired by the fan game and by a lot of other things as well, like Evangelion. It'll be for both Android and iOS, so be sure to check it out when it releases and follow the Twitter for updates. So that's it. That's the story of my Attack on Titan fan game and how it was made. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe and comment what you would like to see added to the game. Peace.